again, I think a lot of women are afraid of the rejection and they don't want to be humiliated. I know for me it would be that as well. So I'm not.
Hi, Zuda. I'm just cleaning up the map before I choose whatever ending I want to do for this play file. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, holy, 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 holy. I don't think that flew. No, it didn't. Ash. At least I think I hear one. I don't hear it. So the Headless Graveyard Knight. At this point, I think this one is 140. $142. I need to figure out what I want for the whips. It's hard to find a stat to put on them. Doesn't hurt to have a buff. Okay, Golden Vow. And it still has its shit. Uh, No, it's not worth buffing them. Yeah, no, it's not worth buffing them. It is not worth buffing them. Because one, we need to go on the left hand. The dual whips are fine. I'm going to make the assumption and tell that the best time to invade is New Game Plus because you'll have 2 of everything. Unless somebody twinks something in for you, which I don't suggest. This seems like it'll be dumb. Why not do some dumb shit? I didn't put my other buff back on, fuck. Well, I'm running through with poison. Isn't it above me? So it is how to save, but it works oddly enough. It's a shame how many things have rot build up, but few have poison. I have figured and seen that for some reason, the designers in their infinite wisdom decided to give strength weapons scarlet rot buildup on their weapons, and giving mostly dex blood and frost, with some occasional faith-based blight, specifically death blight. My problem with this is that I would like to make use of rot, because rot is fun, and also getting increased damage from... I don't have it on me. From the, flower head is fun. However, the better item, at least for bleed, you get locked out of if you go to Mogwin before... If you go to Mogwin and you don't get invaded by the white face invaders before you kill Mog, you get locked out of it and it's a head item. Nice. Mm. Mm. Imps. My favorite. They're not my favorite. Please acquire the item. of these rooms. Well, at the very least, it's not an automatic death. I wonder. Nope. I would have thought zombies would have taken damage. Perhaps they're not the right enemy that takes damage from that. It should be a constant cast. I shouldn't have to click it every time I roll. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe skeletons. I'm thinking it's only enemies that have been affected by the death curse, which are not many in number. my spell back on. Means I have to rearrange my spells again. That fucking sucks. Just the health. There is no spells I care about, or maybe I should. That was about a moderate amount of damage on hit. Of course it's on the other side of the bridge. It doesn't seem to do very big build-up bleed. Or any bleed. Oh, it's death. No, it's not. It's so hard to tell in this game what falls are actually lethal. For all the nice design things that I fell wrong there, that's definitely death. For all the nice design things in the game, I still stick by and will continue to stand by the opinion that I posted the other day on the live stream channel on YouTube, and that's that Elden Ring is just Dark Souls with a horse. There's a lot of things here that are the combination of design, confidence of design, and series tone. And it is at its all-time high. From Iron Fist Alexander to Hyetta to Rani and so many people in between. The game succeeds in a lot of ways in delivering Dark Souls. Because it is Dark Souls. But for every single bit of the fun stuff, there's just annoying shit. There's so many problems just within the pieces and the parts that make the game what it is. And this isn't even to say that Breath of the Wild didn't have the exact same problems. The difference is that nobody would have expected Breath of the Wild. The fact that it had been tailored about, talked about, hyped up for years. Do I drown? I just drowned. I thought I had to stick the landing, but there's a whole boulder there. I guess that's why they put the stake. That's fine. It's cool. In the case of Breath of the Wild, nobody expected a giant Zelda world. Everybody was pleasantly surprised by the Zelda world. And the voice acting. Voice acting not important, but a lot of people were surprised at the voice acting. The fact that Nintendo showed restraint and didn't give a voice actor for Link is just cream of the crop there, right? But what are the three things... How do I get there? What are the three things that Elden Ring does that that Breath of the Wild did? Map size, exploration, and secret/lore hunting. Those were the three things the game had and had to be. Namely because you're not going to make a giant-ass Zelda world and not have anything in it. That's 10. Second thing is that even with all of this extra shit, they still found time to put normal Zelda-like encounters in it. Similar to Skull Caves and the Moblin hideouts and the rest of the shit and what have you. These small dungeons, that's all those really, or these really are. They're just slotted pieces of equipment and interaction that can be found along the way. That's there. It exists. Do I have to go underneath the waterfall? That are fun, they are there, they exist, and maybe you find good things in them. Which really isn't all that different, right? Like, it's very much something that actually, unironically, to invoke Blizzard, yeah, just Blizzard, that is the entire design around, like, sub-dungeons with Diablo. The entire idea of just having areas of the map that are open to the player, and maybe you find a sub-dungeon in that area. Maybe while you're there doing said sub-dungeon, you find, in at least Breath of the Wild's case, a strong guardian weapon that you can use for a while before it breaks. Down here, it's like, maybe you find Spirit Ash number 5682. Maybe it's an upgraded one. Maybe it has a good effect. Maybe you find a weapon. But, like, across the entire map. You're missing everything said after 3 things it had to be. And that's fine for Breath of the Wild. But this is Dark Souls. Every single item, effectively, has lore. It doesn't need to have lore. It doesn't need to tie into things. But it's there. It is there. Unfortunately, I'm tired of lips now. And unfortunately, the consequence oh my god. It doesn't even work. The dual-handed power stance doesn't even work. I'm so annoyed. I need to find a sword it works with. None of you have bleed. Oh my god. That's ass. I'm so disappointed in that. But there, perfect case example of exactly what I meant when I said the weapons don't have a lot of rot options. But what for Breath of the Wild would be weapons and armor and consumables and spirit orbs and other shit, as well as technically in main dungeons, unlockable guardian abilities. In this, it is spells, weapons, equipment, in the case of the Erd trees, bubbles, spirit ashes, ash upgrades, smithing stones, etc. There's not a lot of hard farming that needs to be done, arguably. I would say once you get to Mountaintop of the Gods and you actually want to start upgrading things past +6, because the lower somber bells and the ball bearings that sell the upgrade materials aren't going to sell all the upgrade materials you want. You're going to have to farm those hands, which they're all the source of Somber 7, so it's worth doing. After Dungeon 30, you start to get annoyed. And this would not be that big of a problem if it weren't for the fact that, for example, I need to find the bubbles. Bubble tears. Bubble tears. Bubbles. 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 I just looked them up like this, and then crystal tier, and then tears by gallery. So, for example, some of the most important fucking bubble tiers in the game, tiers in general. Crimson Whirl bubble tier. It's not found by going to a Erd tree and it dropping for you. It's physically in a different location. And this is so important as a bubble tier because it converts non-physical damage into HP. Which, when you think about that PvE, oh man, converting things that aren't physical damage into health. But realistically, what I just said was gank squad invasion tool counter. Right? Things like that aren't, they're not physically presented in front of you. And that's fucking dumb. Now, things like Purifying Crystal tier, I can actually put on the screen for you here because I have that one. I don't want that. I want... I want this. And for now... HP. Not really. I can deal with this for now. But, bubble tier. Purifying Crystal tier exists specifically to counter a single boss. And it's found during a quest line, but even if you're not doing said quest line, because for me, I killed Yura for a sword, the invader just randomly invades and it hands it to you after you kill them. Things like that would be nice if they happened more often than they did, but they don't. Instead, it ends up just not. It ends up not nodding. And that's unfortunate. I am going here. I would have thought I already got this one, but apparently I did not. But yeah, things like that. So many important things are just, like, out of the fucking way. And it's unfortunate if you don't have them. And in terms of PvP, it is just, you're fucked without it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's not something you don't need. You definitely would want it if you know that it's there. And that's kind of like the point that I'm trying to establish. The problem with the weapon isn't that you need to have it. It's that you don't even know that it's there. Unlockable blade for holy. I don't see anything else I could actually slap on there. These are colossals, these are thrusting. I don't have another straight sword that's good. Anywho, I'll take care of that once we get back to the table. But the nature of things being as they are, character design just ends up going to a place where your fun and comfortability with said thing or stuff of course. Of course. Or your feelings and your ideas and your thoughts about how you want to do things, be them as they may, they just end up not working out the way that you wanted them to. I've talked about it in terms of exploration and the secret finding on a stream before, and the opinion that I had with the chatter that was there is that with exploration you get tired very fast. It's not that it's impossible to burn yourself out in this game. It's very much possible. That's why I've been taking breaks in between play sessions if I don't feel like playing it, because on one hand, it's the consequence of playing a video game for the purpose of content. Alabaster bought this for me. She wants me to have fun with it. I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying my time and my experience. But at the same time, every play session, I get annoyed. Not because of something that someone else did, but because of the game itself, and it's just existing. Like, ooh, another dungeon. It's another catacomb. Oh my god, look at the catacomb. It's another piece of shit. Surprising and attacking me like a dick. How nice. Fat rolling. I'm fat rolling. I get tired of there being multiple dungeons that are basically copy-pasted. And rather than having some level of unique design amongst them, in the same method of Breath of the Wild, it's instead another dungeon that has another putrid tree avatar at the bottom of it. Because for some reason that's the only thing we can do. That's the only design that we have. I hate that. Extra dungeons they shoved in. Feel like they're shoved in for the sake of content. Rather than because they exist to do a thing. I dislike... Okay, I already have that one. Wow, I'm stupid. He says there's another one here. I don't see it. It says it's one here, and I don't fucking see it. Oh, I actually already do have it. Wow. I'm retarded. It's just... It's all just so uninspired, you know? That's the greatest sin that I could say the game has. There's so many things that are just so uninspired. For every single well-made and very well-programmed or created design, there's just something fucking else about the game that just fails. It just fails. Outright fucking fails. And detracts from your ability to say that the game is good. Because the game can be good. And it is good at times. And that's just to say nothing of the overall experience of the game. Like, to compare the experience of combat, comparable to that in this area, comparable to that of what's a good example? Oh, I know a perfect example. So, the Radon fight. The difference in design from the Radon fight, or if you looked at any of the uploads that I did for Millennia, or the entire stream that was dedicated to just fighting Millennia. Fuck, man. For all the effort. Nice. For all of the effort and time and focus dedicated to Radon and to making his fight, even though it's probably one of the easiest fights in the game, both pre and post patch, and I don't think anybody wants to really mention that. Comparing it to something that's rude. That bot just did and what that boulder did was rude. When you compare the design of Radon comparable to that of Ulcerated Tree Spirit in... I can't open the map. In Warren Catacombs. You can feel the copy paste when you get there. There's no reason for there to be an Ulcerated Tree Spirit in that dungeon. Because you'd think, in a catacomb... Still can. Right here. You'd think that in a catacomb, that is attached to a battlefield full of dead warriors and soldiers and clean rock guardians, and I forgot what the other enemy type is in there. I think they're his red main soldiers. You'd think that in a dungeon full of red main soldiers and clean rock guards still fighting each other, that you'd have some kind of general, some kind of arch lieutenant with an extremely skilled like warrior setup waiting to fight you at the bottom of this dungeon. But nope! Putrefied Tree Spirit! This one does right. It has buffed up stats. Have fun. There's no reason. There's no particular reason. It just does. It exists. It's there. It's because of that kind of design just spread out everywhere across the map because the game is big. You would expect that if this catacomb is here, it would have something to do with the boss over here. Or if anything that happens in Caelid happens around Celia and its storyline, or happens around the tree and its storyline, or any of the interconnected rise towers, they would have some kind of lore. You're expecting some kind of backstory for the Beast Sanctum, which there really is not. A reasoning for the Great Jar. You would think that for all of these areas across the map, in these 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't count that as an area because it's connected to this place in Linernia. 10 and 11 places on the map. You would think that anything that had to do with anything in these zones and areas would have things that would reflect. Anything that's being done anywhere. It doesn't. But you know, you're playing the game, you're still in the honeymoon phase, so you're okay with it. It's not the best, but you know, it's the equivalency of just having a little bit of dick. You can work with it. I can do something with it. Maybe I can get myself off once, twice, maybe 3 times if I'm lucky. 5 if I stretch. But over time, the overall sense of bullshit starts to wafer in, right? Because when the game gets hard, it gets fucking hard. I got up. Melania, for example, is fucking hard. Does she need to be that hard? Does she need to have waterfall dance? Does she need to have all these skills and all this damage and all this shit? Ow. Does she need to have all these skills and all this damage and all this shit available to her? Does she need to be so goddamn hard to kill? Probably not. But hey, it's the Haggalid tree. You already got here through a secret. So it's not that bad. It's just slightly difficult. If difficult could ever be slight. That's the biggest one yet. Why is it so big? Why are you not burning? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom! Why was it so big? Why was it there? Anyways, that is actually a perfect case example of meaning, but at least in terms of tune, it is here because hands live on the snow mountains, I guess? That right there is a nightmare. That's what nightmares are made of. Although, I will put that in the good category. Great. I don't even know what the fuck he got staggered by. Is that all I came here for? No. Yes. Yes, that is all I came here for. Oh. Make sure I'm not lost. Okay, yeah. That was what I needed. I lost my train of thought because I was fighting hands. Well, I bet that the Great Jar is going to be a DLC arena for later. Honestly, I'm not sure because none of those arenas actually open up and go into anything. Yeah, I was thinking Neil in spirit form would have been more thematically accurate. Honestly, between Neil and Null, one being rot, the other one being lightning and ice, I don't mind them being where they are. I would have expected more variant types or them in spirit form. Yes. It was built for. I didn't find Melania so difficult because I was using... Well, see, fighting Melania was not the problem. You can go back and look at my 9-minute kill. I was using blood form. She is extremely weak to bleed and cold. The problem is that by the nature of learning how to fight any boss, that kind of difficulty is going to be sharp, but warranted. I shouldn't have an easy boss fight versus Melania. I should get blindsided the first time, or maybe the third time, or the second time, or the third time, from being point-blank range versus the first step of the waterfowl dance. That's fine. What is not fine is the fact that the bosses and their attack styles are not coded for fairness. They're coded to exist. She should never be doing waterfall dance 5 times in a row. No boss should be doing their signature attack constantly. There's supposed to be a timer on that shit. There's supposed to be a recognizable point to understanding how to outplay it. You cannot be able to outplay something that you can't expect or be able to learn from, even on a first-time attack. That's why it's okay to die to it the first time. Plus, even with all the criticisms that I have for it, it ultimately only brings the game down, if you were to use a 10-point rating system, down to like 1 point. It'd be a 9 out of 10 rather than a 10 out of 10. But I have to give it some leniency because at the very least, this is a game on launch month, if you would rather say launch day or launch week. On launch day, it was a beautiful fucking mess. Nobody knew anything. Everybody was discovering everything for the first. But then also, by the nature of people being how people are, they were also spoiling the game the entire way they were going. People couldn't allow secrets to be secrets. They had to be the person to say, tee-hee-hee, I know how to get that, tee-hee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee-hee. For every single secret and every single well-designed puzzle, there's probably 15 fucking messages spoiling the fucking thing. Not to mention inside of the Hidden Path of the Agula Tree, which is the dungeon I did a video on, specifically because of how fucking bullshit it is. Invisible platforms, with nothing to hint to you that there is an invisible fucking platform. All of the essence of what is part of a game made in current year, all of the hallmarks are there. Whether you like them or don't, they are there. They're there, and depending on who's talking, they're annoying. And even then, you can still find something good. You can find something positive to say about them. But technical glitching issues, side quests and entire main game ending quests breaking entirely by the nature of how you coded NPC invasions to be tied to the world boss of that area.
I took you've no man to lay out your arm.
The fact that because weapon damage is tied to sombers and to normal weapons, if you cannot find that amount, you're not getting more damage. And therefore, you will probably have to wait till the very, 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 very end game to really be able to do any of the things you want to do. I could argue with that. There's so much shit that could be improved. There's so much shit that could be improved. And I know they can do it. It's not an end of the world scenario. They can come around and fix and or make the game better. I guess this is the best that's gonna get. So when blockable leg goes on the first hand. I'm not exactly happy with that, but that's the best it can do. Yeah, get some sleep. No problem, man. When it comes to spoiler, it sucks with that's the internet. Oh yeah, that's easy to fucking do. Are you under the impression? No, I'm not under the impression. I'm saying the point that I'm trying to make with the bosses and shit is that attacks that are gonna surprise and kill you the first time you see them should implore you to learn how to counter them. Waterfowl, by nature of its in-your-face blitzkrieg, it feels like, bro, how the fuck do I dodge that? You can even hear me saying as such in the stream. But after studying it, and basically doing what any person would do after they have literally no other recourse, and that's just testing and figuring things out, you figure out how to do it. That kind of energy and spirit problem solving for Elden Ring doesn't really exist. Like, brute force is way too common an answer to solve everything, and that's a problem. Like, when you first fight... Not this one. I keep thinking Stormgrave's not where it is. When you first fight Godric the Grafted, and you first see his attack style, and you're experiencing his attacks, all the things that would become part of you learning about the game and how you can basically jump over ground-based attacks, or because the game is very position specific, if you can be out of range of the weapon swing, you don't get hit by it, prepares you for when you eventually... Is it all the way over here? No. This one? Yes. Prepares you for when you fight his Evergoal, which is essentially the exact same fight, but with maybe 3 or 2 different variations of attacks. Or, the first time you find the Forlorn Hound, and you fight him, comparative to when you fight Weeping Evergoal, but most importantly, comparative to when you fight the Stormhill Evergoal. Fighting the Crucible Knight feels nothing like fighting the Forlorn Hound. And fighting the Forlorn Hound feels nothing like fighting Godric. And even though they're technically swaps of each other, fighting Godric feels nothing like fighting Godfroy. And fighting the Royal Grave feels nothing like anything else. Same thing with, where's the other Evergoal? Where's the Evergoal with the fucking assassin? The Lord's Contender Evergoal doesn't feel anything like the Cilia Evergoal. Like, all of these Evergoal fights are the perfect, perfect thing that you're looking for when you're talking about boss enemies. Having that, but everywhere on the map, and they're all different. They all have different fighting styles, they all have different weapons, they have all different aggressions. That's what people were looking for. And we know the reason why. In Dark Souls 1, the characters were given explicit NPC scripts that they would favor certain kind of attacks and certain kind of attack patterns. In this, that doesn't exist. They're just coded to be coded. That's why Waterfowl Dance comes out 5 times in a row. It's not that it's not like the script and therefore inside of the entire design for people who don't have, you know, game design knowledge. They are experiencing it like, damn, this motherfucker is actually thinking. It's just like, oh, here it comes again. Here it comes again. Here it comes again. It feels like you're playing a player. It feels like you're fighting a player. It feels like you're fighting a player that picked up Rivers of Blood or picked up Moonveil and said, nope, this weapon art's all I'm going to use. This is all that's going to happen now. And then it's that, but with groups of enemies, all of them together doing the same thing too. It feels like that with spiders. It feels like that with tree spirits. It feels like that with the watchdog hounds. It definitely feels like that with the imps, but that's by design. They're very simple enemies. They don't have to be anything more than that. Part of that can be solved by getting higher poise. The sewer enemies feel like this. The omen enemies feel like this. Any group of enemy that has a shield, most especially Redmane guards, Crucible guards, Crucible arm wielders, giants, depending on what kind of weapon type they have. The Bell-Bearing Hunter, which is just a spin-off of the, where's the thing right here? The Castellian Hall enemy, the something of the Briar. All of them have the exact same energy. They have the exact same logic and understanding, especially the Godskin Apostles. All of these enemy types that are supposed to be unique feel the same. and attack the same. And that's not okay. And that's ultimately what brings the game down a notch. You could give Expiration a pass, and you could say, well, damn, they didn't get George R.R. Martin's touch on this one. This dungeon was a stinker, guys. You can write off the exploration. You can write off the secret hunting, because secret hunting goes with lore, and when it comes to lore and Dark Souls, we can accept that. But everything else that's supposed to be a part of the quality experience is fucking ruined by just the nature of the game being in your face all the time. And rather than you being scared to round the next corner, you're running around the next corner, waiting for something to jump out so you can fucking one-shot it. That's not okay. That's not okay. Yes, the last thing I said was that the Golden Legend Evergold boss is just a little different. It's literally the exact same attack pattern as Godric with Godfroy. He just has different attack patterns because he's not being triggered to do certain attacks because you don't have a summon. Which is honestly great, because Everduels are effectively duels, then. Everduels are one-to-one man combat. And it outs with how it plays. And that's good. But for everything else that's with multiple tier combat, that you can't be able to summon spirit Everjails. Technically they are forever jails, aren't they? Although I don't know what a goal is. It says, it makes sense. It makes sense. But anyways, all of that is my opinion about Elden Ring. At least for the first playthrough. Granted, I started this file with a wretch, right? I started with a wretch. So I started from 10 slot everything. So every single fucking time I took a fight, until I was actually strong enough to be strong enough, was nearly impossible for me. So I'm saying this with a background in the experience of literally fucking one-handing and two-handing the first grafted scion with the club, right? That's where my perspective's coming from. I clawed and fought and scraped my way to being able to be here. And after all of that, I can say they need to work on these things. There needs to be a patch. There needs to be an update of some kind. Because without that patch, or without that update to change maybe the NPC attack patterns, or fix some of the things with the catacombs, it's just 9 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry, but it is. That's what I'm... And I didn't even get on the part that really pissed me off, which is the fucking verticality puzzles. And not even the catacomb puzzles. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. I can show you exactly which verticality puzzle I'm talking about. Because first off, finding the sewers was fucking impossible inside of Lundell. Even though I found the well in the first place, the wall that it wanted to open up into did not look like it opened up in anything. I was fucking retarded. But no, I'm going to show you exactly what verticality puzzle I'm talking about. This one. This verticality puzzle. This verticality puzzle is dog shit. I don't even think I've found what I'm supposed to find down here. How did I even do this again? Hop to this one. Hop to this one. Running start. Turn around. Jump. Hop. And then... running the wall. Hop. And then hop. And hop. Yeah. Figuring out the exact order of what I needed to do to be able to get down that took me fucking forever. By forever, I mean like 2 hours. And all I got down here was a shield. But I don't think that's the only thing that's down here. I'm almost certain that this entire thing is that this entire pit is actually a skybox death trap. Yeah. So I don't even know what the fuck else is down here. No, I have a general idea what it is that's supposed to be down here. I just don't know how to get to the thing that's down here. I'll learn it. Anywho, I'm going to do that off stream. I have talked and played enough, and also I need to get my mother prepared for her fucking appointment. Bye-bye, Zuda. And...